everyone, welcome to Module 4. In Module 4, we're going to be looking at the last imperfect market structures, which is going to be monopolies, monopolistic competition, and oligopolies. A monopoly is going to be a market structure that all of us consume a product from, and it's going to be a market structure where there is one supplier selling products that have no close substitutes. And the government regulates these firms so that only one firm will be in operation. Examples of these types of firms are right here. Your gas company, your electric company, your water company. You'll notice that monopolies exist at many different levels, but their high barriers to entry make it impossible for someone to enter the market. Here's an example of the demand curve and marginal revenue curve for a monopoly. You'll notice that it's downward sloping, and you notice that they don't equal each other as it did in a perfectly competitive firm. You'll also notice that price and marginal revenue don't equal each other as well, which means as more of a product has to be sold, they're classified as a price maker, where they can decide what price to be charging in the market. Now, a monopolistic competitive firm, see there's a difference here. This is a firm with many buyers and sellers selling very similar products, but they're slightly different. Now, the way they differentiate themselves is through advertising and marketing. And advertising and marketing is very important with these firms. This is the way, for example, like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. They differentiate their products just enough so people can see the differences in those products, and they will pay more at at Starbucks. You'll also notice that entry is very low, and consumers have most information that's available in the market. Whereas oligopolies, that's a different type of market structure. Oligopolies are focused on high barriers to entry and exit in the market, and given these high barriers to entry and exit in the market, they're selling products that are very similar. Oligopolies are a good example of oligopolies are airlines and cell phone manufacturers, and also car manufacturers and cigarette makers. Those are good examples of oligopolies in the market. Oligopolies are present, and they bring about a lot of changes because oligopolies are going to watch each other to make pricing decisions. Now, let's go over the discussion for this week. For the discussion this week, consider some countries that have used a law to ban private colleges. Should education be classified as a natural monopolies in these European countries? Justify your answer. So now with this question, you want to look at the characteristics of monopoly and bring that into your analysis. That's the key that I'm looking for. Next, consider the case of several large established pharmaceutical manufacturers such as Merck. What type of market form do you believe that those such manufacturers operate under? And that question, make sure to focus on the use of patents and trademarks that allow them to produce the product for an established amount of time. So for the discussion board, let's review what's required. You need an initial post. Make sure in your initial post that you have about 3 to 4 paragraphs, and you have an in-text citation and reference in APA format to develop your work. You also should have 2 peer responses, at least a paragraph. You can respond to any questions that I post. You also need to make sure your first post is by Saturday and your remaining posts are by Wednesday. Now, let's look at the assignment here. Now, this might be a challenging assignment, but it's very simple. If you can just copy and paste this, watch what I do. Just copy and paste this over into an Excel. You can easily calculate this. Now, I'm going to show you where they're tricking you here. All right, so let's copy this over here. Now, let me show you some tricks that you need to know. And they will trick you here. And I'm going to show you how you're going to add some additional. This is easy right here. Total revenue and marginal. That's easy, and I'll show you to find this. I'm going to show you some tricks. Equals, this is cell F2, so F2, multiply it by A2. Let me go back here, make all of these a general number. So what you want to do is you want to take this cell, multiply it by this. This cell multiplied by this to find total revenue. That's how you'll find this column right here. Now to find marginal revenue, I'll give you an example. This is 345. This is 300. So the marginal revenue, oh, I'm sorry, this is 0. This is 300. And then 249 divided times 2, 498. So now, what is the marginal revenue? 300, 198. It's the change in total revenue. That's all you do to solve that right there. Now, let's find what we're missing is what we call the total columns. And this will make it a little bit easier. So let's find the fixed cost, variable cost, total cost. Variable cost, total cost. To find fixed cost, it's going to be this times this. So it's going to be 180. Now we know with fixed costs it's always the same. So it's always going to be average times output. So it's going to be 180 the whole way down. Now to find variable costs, it's going to be 135 times 1 unit. It's going to be 127.5 times 2, all the way down. Now to find total costs, it's going to be this column plus this column. So it's going to be 315. So let me give you an example. I'll just do the first two for you. So 127.5 times 2, 255. So then you add these up again. So you get 435, fixed cost plus variable cost. Now the marginal cost is the change in these costs. So from 0 to 1 is 315. Now from 1 to 2, it's going to be this minus this column, which is 120. 435 minus 120. So this is how you can calculate all of these columns. Okay, so we have that done. What you want to do with your Word document is copy this right here after you're done. Make sure there's dollar signs here and everything. You copy this right into your Word document. Let me give you an example here. Because you're not going to submit two different documents. So you copy it. And let's say, here is my table. There it is. And all you do is you change the page layout. So it's going to be landscape. There you go. So you just copy it in there. Do not submit two different documents. That's the key. So now it's going to ask you to do the following. Prepare a graph showing all of these costs. So let's go back to this thing right here and prepare a graph. So if I want to prepare a graph, I want to just do it for this right here. And I'm going to go up here to data. Let me see if I can find it. Go to line graph right here. And so all you need to do is create this line graph. Do not create a column, all of these, just the line graph function right here. That's all you need. So that will answer this. Prepare a graph for those following things right there. You can actually put it on the same graph. So if you wanted to, you can actually put all of this together on the same graph. Now, using the data in the table and on your graph, explain the profit maximizing or loss minimizing level of output. You want to find on this table where marginal revenue equals marginal cost, where they equal each other, as that's where they should be producing at. Define normal profit and define economic profit. Normal profit is what you expect to make, where economic profit is making more than you expected. Now, are normal profits being earned in this example? They probably are, because you'll see there's profits higher than what we expected. Now, what type of market structure could this be in the short run? Well, this can only be a market structure in the short run if they're earning a profit. It can only be an oligopoly or a monopoly. Those are the two market structures. Now, in table 1, does this represent the long run? No, it doesn't represent the long run because there's a presence of a fixed cost. So this is the short run, and that's how you would want to answer that question. So make sure to focus on APA formatting in your work. If you click on doc sharing right here, you'll notice that I have actually the assignment or the template for you. Make sure to put in all of your work into the Word document as well. If you have any questions, let me know as I look forward to your effort this week. And if you want, you can send it to me through email so I can pre-grade it as well.